bad girl and your friends bad too. Oh, you got the swag, saucy drippin' swag too. You a bad girl and your friends bad too. Oh, you got the swag, saucy drippin' swag too. Oh.
I may be young, but I'm ready to give you all my love. I told my girls you can get it.
Hey loves, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm actually doing something different, which is you're wondering who this lovely lady is right here, and it is my best friend. So if you guys haven't seen the title, it is the best friend tag because this is her first time on my channel. Well, besides when I traveled and I saw her in Rhode Island? Rhode Island. Okay, Rhode Island, and we went to New York, so check all that out. Other than that, this is her first time officially being on my channel. So welcome. You gonna tell me your name?
Oh, I'm Nikita, and like she said, I'm her best friend. If you haven't noticed, it's like my first time on camera.
So what I did is I just went through some of the best friend tag videos that I saw online, and I figured why not figure out some questions to ask, and I thought it would be fun for us to ask them. And she's usually the life of the party, so I feel like you guys are gonna see me in a whole different element than when I'm just, you know, putting on my makeup or trying a wig on. So let's jump right in. Okay, so if you guys see me looking down at my phone, that is because that's where I wrote the questions down, and so she doesn't know the questions that are on here.
No,
I didn't really think of them, I just wrote them down. I thought they were good questions, so we'll see how this goes. So the first question is, how and when did we meet? You wanna answer that one?
I don't really have a good answer for this other than 6th grade. That's the only thing that comes to mind. Like, yeah, I remember 6th grade Mr. Tilly class. Like, that's how I remember meeting you.
Okay, she remembers more. I just know we met in 6th grade. And somehow by osmosis we became friends.
Yes.
I don't remember. I know she did stick up for me in dance class.
Yep.
You know.
Yeah.
That was a very trying moment. I don't know if I want to jump into that just yet, but she had my back. Let's just say that. Okay, so when did you guys become BFFs? You remember that?
No, I don't. So the moment that I knew that we was probably never ever not gonna be friends was probably when she had my back when we were in high school, and we had like this, well, I had an altercation with this girl and her group of friends that didn't like me.
We had each other's back, y'all.
Yeah, she out of nowhere was like, not my friend, you know what I mean? So that's how we became.
And I was nice and quiet.
I know.
Some people will tell you. Some people will tell you.
Like, you would never have thought that her, of all people, would have done that. But yeah, so she had been my BFF since then, I guess.
So I guess once we had each other's back, we became BFFs. Like, I guess so. Okay, so the next question is, have you guys ever been in a fight? So that question, it was amongst each other.
Oh, like
like me and you been in a fight. So I'm gonna tell y'all what happened.
She got this one.
This one. So I feel like this is the only fight that I feel like has, like, it sticks out in our mind where we can, like, remember, which was like a few years ago. It was like a few years ago? Like a few years ago, we went to Vegas and we were having like a little vacation time. We were, it was another friend that was with us, and we went to the spa and we were just having a great time. And so we got hungry and we were trying to figure out where we're gonna eat. And she wanted Panera bread. And I, on the other hand, I'm not a Panera bread fan. I don't think I had ever been to Panera bread. And I saw the menu, and the menu just overwhelmed me. And so I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go to McDonald's or something like that. And we got in an argument because I didn't want Panera bread.
Y'all know. So look, y'all got to understand. My friend, bless her heart, she never knows where she wants to eat. So when
I did that day though.
No, she did not.
I did that
No,
day.
she didn't.
Okay,
don't
whatever.
let her lie to y'all on this camera.
Go ahead.
Don't let her lie to y'all on this camera.
Okay.
I specifically asked her what she wanted to eat. As usual, her answer was, it don't matter. Well, if it don't matter, then we want a Panera bread. That's how I felt. And so when she got inside and said she wanted to eat, And I'm like, who don't want sandwiches, y'all? Who can't find a sandwich that they like in Panera Bread?
It was too many options. And the thing about it was, McDonald's was right next door. So it wasn't like she had to drive anywhere. I could walk to McDonald's, but she was so mad. And we literally got in the car, and we had a big blow up. And yeah, our friendship was on the line that day over Panera Bread. Like, can you believe it? Can you believe it? So next question is, favorite memory together.
If I had to say favorite, so me and my best friend can do almost anything together, right? And so my most fondest memory was this night that I tried to convince her to go to the club with me, right? She's not a clubber at all. And I have, you know, passed those moments in time too. But this particular moment, I wanted to go to this one club down in Hollywood, right? So I convinced her to come, and she was like, all right, fine, I'll come. And so we go and we walk a little bit. It was a little bit. And then we realized that we had to stand in line, and neither one of us was for it. So we turned back around and went back to the car. And when we got in the car, we seen this bright light like off in the horizon, and we were trying to figure out what it was. So of course, me being me,
Us being us.
we went on an adventure.
Figure out what this light was, y'all.
Yeah, and literally we was all in the hills. And
Hollywood Hills, if you guys don't know. So.
It was crazy to find out that it was the observatory light, and we couldn't get into the observatory because it was closed already. So we just continued to like wander around, and we seen like deer, like Bambi and his like whole family,
friends and families.
We had, I got like almost hit with trespassing because
because we were trying to get to the Hollywood sign. So after we realized it was the observatory, the Hollywood sign is right next to it. So we were like, we're gonna go to the Hollywood sign. Well, they had closed down all these little roads to get there, so we was taking back roads. And she trespassed on somebody's property, and it was like trespassing, you get shot.
And I was like, ugh.
So we had to hurry to get up out of there.
Yeah, but eventually we made it to the sign, and it was probably like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. So it was pretty cool though. But that was like one of my best memories, because it was like, who but your best friend could you go on this adventure with and they'd be totally down for it, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, my favorite memory is probably our collective favorite memory, which is when we were in high school. She had little technical difficulties with her family members. And she had got, was it a call or
I had a call.
She got a call that I guess somebody was about to come and fight your cousin.
Yeah, they was about to try to jump my cousin.
Yeah, okay, so if you guys haven't noticed or haven't realized, like, we're from Inglewood. And I know that that's hard for some people to understand, but she grew up in the bottoms.
I did.
In the bottoms, and I grew up in, I grew up by the Forum, so, yeah. I mean, people don't think that it's the hood, but I grew up with hood people, okay? Needless to say, once she found out that they were waiting at her house, she's ready. Like, she's ready to go. And so she's like, yeah, these girls are waiting at my house, blah, blah. Now, if you know my mama is crazy. Trouble. And she had time frames for everything. Every time we're supposed to do something. So we got out of school at 2:23. We should have already been walking. We should have been at home by 3:05. We should be calling her at 3:06. Like, that's how my mom was. So I had made an executive decision. I'm gonna have my friends back. I'm gonna roll with her, and we're gonna mob down the street to go meet these girls. And so we mobbing down the street, and if you know, it's like, that Yukon or 104th? 104th. Okay, so we're going down 104th, and it's a long road. And on this long road, I quickly realized, like, I don't want to fight. I don't want to fight. I'm a lover, not a fighter. But I had to have my girls back, so I'm going, and so her house was like, there was an alley that she could go to get to her house. When I tell y'all, I peeked around that alley, praying there was no girls there, and there wasn't. And I was like, but I had your back, and she didn't find out until I think years later. I was like, girl, I was scared. But you know, I'm not scared. I ain't scared no more. I ain't scared no more.
Nah, she about that life now, y'all.
About that life now. First of all, how you ain't even gonna tell our car accident story?
But that ain't my fondest memory, though.
That's not your
like,
fondest memory, man.
That's something I do not like to relive. You know what I mean? Like,
oh, that's the last question. We're gonna put it on the last question.
Look, see,
we're gonna put it on the
jumping ahead
last
of
question.
herself.
Sorry, told you I just wrote these questions. I didn't pay attention to the order or anything like that. Okay, so then the next one is describe each other in one word.
Supportive. If I had to use one word, I would say supportive. And I say that because throughout our entire lives of knowing each other, I knew that she was always like the backbone, I guess you could say, for me. Like that support system that I always felt like I needed. She was always that, you know what I mean? You know, you have family and stuff like that, and you have other friends, but she was always the one that I felt like it was a no judgment zone. So if I did come to her and I needed some type of support, she would always provide that. So I would say supportive.
Supportive? I think I would say, okay, so at first I was gonna say bold. Because you are bold. She is bold, y'all. And she's always been bold. But I think that would be my second word. My first word would be loyal.
Okay.
I think that she has been tremendously loyal, like literally since we were in the 6th grade. If you guys don't know, so I'm 30, you are 31. So obviously we've been kicking it for over what, 20 years? Like over 20 years of this is friendship, sisterhood. And when I tell you she's had my back, I've had her back, and we've never had to question each other's loyalty. And that doesn't mean that like sisters we don't be getting on each other's nerves and have our moments, but it just means that no matter what happens, we loyal to each other.
We're always gonna be together.
Yeah. What do you admire about each other? So I want to answer this one first.
Oh, you want to go first?
I want to go first.
Oh, okay.
So one thing that, I mean, there's so many things that I admire about my sis, but one thing that I admire is just how huge her heart is. Like her heart is like humongous. Like I can't even, it's like her heart is just huge. And I think I have a big heart, but I feel like I have limits to my heart. If I'm being honest, like there are limits. But I feel like she will give her last. She goes above and beyond, and like when she loves somebody, like she literally just goes above and beyond, and I truly admire that about her. And something else that's that bold comes in. I also admire how bold she is. Like she, since day one, will do anything. If you tell her dance, she like, all right, I'm about to pop, lock, and drop it. And she don't care who's watching. I think even in my single days, she didn't care who she was talking to. Who, you know, it could be, I don't care, it could be a celebrity, and she's like, I'm gonna shoot my shot. What? And I was like, yeah, no, that's they gonna have to approach me, you know.
Yay!
So, and that's how we've been. It's just kind of like she's the spice to my sugar, you know. She's the peanut butter to the jelly. I want to be the jelly.
You want to be jelly?
I want to be jelly.
All right, now I'll be peanut butter.
You know? The ham to my burger. Which one you want to be?
I'll be the burger.
You be the burger?
I'll be the burger.
But yeah, like we literally compliment each other, and I think that's one of the great things about having like just a great, you know, sisterhood, friendship, is that we can compliment each other. And so yeah, that was my answer.
I admire her strength, right? And I say that because my friend has been through so much. We've been through so much together in our lives, and then in separate parts of our lives, you know, whether it's having kids, whether it's education, whether it's actually jumping out on the line and starting this, you know, this YouTube channel. Like, I admire that about her. Like, she goes after whatever it is that she put her mind to, and it's like she's never let anything, not even her circumstances, hold her back. And so I admire her strength. Yeah.
Oh, thank you, boo.
I don't even know why I agreed to do this video on camera with this makeup on, y'all, because we can't
even mess it up because we got somewhere to go after this.
Yes, we do.
We got somewhere to go after this. I have one more question.
Okay.
And this is an easy question, I think, and it is the toughest thing that we had to overcome.
Okay, yeah.
So
yeah, that falls into
this whole car accident thing. So let me give you guys just a spiel of what happened. So I was gonna save this for like a story time at another day, and I might still go into full details later because it's a whole story in and of itself.
Yes.
But just how we got there. So basically, my ex invited us out to a party. Was it a party? A club or something like that. I think it was a club.
Yeah.
And so me and my girls, which is my best friend, and it was another friend that we had, all decided to go out. Now I was driving my mom's car at the time because we were in town on summer vacation. We both were attending the same school at the time in college. So we're in summer vacation, and so we're out here. So I drove my mom's car, and then her and our other friend were in a car together.
Yeah.
And so we went to this party. It wasn't what it was. We wasn't paying $20 to get in for 5 minutes.
Not at all.
So we decided we weren't going in. And so everybody decided, I don't know if you know, back in the day when everybody used to go on the Shaw, what is it called? Like car clubbing and stuff like that. So then everybody kind of decided to do that. So I was like, you know what? I don't want to drive anymore. I'm just going to park the car and get in the car with y'all. Park the car, I get in the car with them, and he calls me or I call him, and they're like, what? Scratch that. We changed our mind. We're going to go to the beach. So we're going to go to the beach instead of going to, you know, the Shaw. So I was like, okay, fine. So literally we're on 70 something and we turn on the Crenshaw. Once we turn on Crenshaw, next thing I know, an accident is, so do you want to take over for that? Because I think,
so we got onto Crenshaw and we're driving up Crenshaw going back towards like 104. So there was a car full of guys in like the lane on our right. And so we were in the far left lane, right? And so we're driving up the street and they're like honking the horn and trying to get our attention and things like that or whatnot. And so our friend that was driving started to speed up, right? So she sped up and got in front of them, right? And so they eventually got over to the far left lane and then they sped up. So we were doing like this crisscross motion up, you know, Crenshaw pretty much.
Now pause. I didn't know this. At this time, I think I was still on the phone. So I didn't quite comprehend what was going on at the moment. And just to give you guys a little insight, I was in the back seat, she's in the passenger seat, and the friend is driving. So you'll know where we were in the car.
Yeah, so we're speeding, you know, down the street or whatever, and we're jumping in front of each other, you know, and we get up to what we call in Inglewood Dead Man's Curve. We noticed that we were coming up on this curve. She tried to slow down. Well, they were trying to switch lanes as well at the same time, and so they ended up hitting us. And when they hit us, we spun out of control and we went through a fence.
We hit a pole,
a fence
and a tree. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's how we stopped.
So I'll pick up on, so what happened was right before the accident happened is when I pressed in, like, okay, we're going to see you at the beach. And I pressed in, and then all I saw was, we went into oncoming traffic first. And then she took the steering wheel and she turned it, and that's when we spun around. So when I wake up, I don't know what happened. I had blacked out, don't know what happened. And all I know is that it was a stranger in the car and she's calling my name. And I'm like, how does she know my name? And I remember I had a white Prairie View A&M sweatshirt because that's the school that we attended. And I had a white Prairie View A&M sweatshirt, and she put that sweatshirt over my left hand, and it filled up with blood. And so I was like, oh crap, I'm bleeding. And then I realized like I was having trouble breathing, and I had my seatbelt on. So I reached over to take the seatbelt off, thinking, okay, maybe the seatbelt is constricting my breathing. And I realized I still was having a hard time breathing. And so then I ended up blacking out. The next time I came to, now mind you, when I blacked out, I realized I was the only one in the car and this stranger. I'm the only one in the car and this stranger. So I don't know where she is. I don't know what's going on. But when I came to again, they're now using the jaws of life to get me out the car. And I see the first friend, the friend that was driving, she's sitting on the ground and she's like rocking back and forth and she's talking to the police. So I still don't know where Nikita is, and I'm just kind of like, what is going on? What happened? So needless to say, they put us in the ambulance, or they put me in the ambulance by myself. So I don't really know what's going on their end. So I know I'm in the ambulance by myself, and they're like, I'm more focused on, they cutting my favorite bra and jeans, y'all. I I was really hurt. I was really hurt. So then I realized like we're driving for a long time, and like we were next to like 2 close hospitals, so I didn't understand why we were driving for so long. So needless to say, we get to this hospital, and I guess I must have came in with another chick at the same time because they kept calling me Samantha. They kept calling me Samantha, and I was like, my name's not Samantha. And they were like, yeah, Samantha. And I was like, okay. And so needless to say, they did a full CAT scan and everything like that, and I found out I had 4 broken ribs, a punctured lung, a broken scapula, I needed stitches, and I was pregnant.
Okay, pause. So I'll pick up from when I came to from the car. So the guy, I guess the guys that were like playing, you know, crisscross with us in the cars is the ones that came and tried to get us out the car. So they got me out and they laid me like maybe 10 or 15 feet from the car on my back, but I couldn't feel anything. Like I knew I had got picked up, but I could not feel like any of my, like anything on my body. And so I was just laying there and I was yelling, you know, all their names, like my friends' names or whatever, because I'm trying to figure out where they are, because I can't move. Like it hurts to move. I tried to move my neck and it was like painful. So eventually I see a uniform, like a fireman or medic or something, but they stepped right over me and I was confused. I'm like, hello, I'm laying down here and I'm hurting, please help me. It just was like, whatever, you're not important. And I guess because she was stuck in the car and they didn't know the extent of like what was wrong with her, and so because they seen I was, you know, cognizant, they kind of just left me on the ground. But eventually they came over there and started asking me all these questions and stuff, and they put me on the gurney and put me in the back of an ambulance. And so I'm in there, there's 2 guys standing outside and they're talking and they're like, so where are we gonna take them? So they're trying to decide which hospital to take us to, and they end up saying, well, we'll take her to so-and-so hospital and we'll take the other girl to another hospital. And I freaked out and started yelling like, hey, don't you split us up, don't you split us up. And so they closed the door on me. Like, this girl's crazy, right? So then eventually somebody came in and I was like, please don't split me and my friend up, we have to go to the same hospital. Please don't split us up, we have to go to the same hospital. And I kept saying it, right? So eventually they was like, you gonna shut up. And then they stuck me with a needle to like sedate me.
Cause she crazy, y'all, she crazy.
Clearly, I know, right? When we got to the hospital, I'm now trying to figure out where Brittany is. And they're like, we don't know who Brittany is. And I'm like, no.
I'm Samantha.
No.
Apparently Samantha.
You know who Brittany is, right? And so the crazy thing about it is that me and her are the only ones that are like admitted to the hospital. Our other friend is walking around perfectly fine, right?
Did not get injured at all.
So finally she came and she seen me and I was like, yo, where's Britt? And she's like, I don't know. I said, you need to go find her and make sure she came to this hospital. And so yeah, she left me and I was like in the hallway like, yo, is anybody gonna give me a room or something, please?
Yeah. So let's just say that's the toughest thing that we had to overcome, and there is so much more to the story, but I will tell you guys. Let me know in the comment section if you guys want me to tell you the full scope and how I found out I was pregnant and everything that happened after that. That's a story in and of itself. But I hope that you guys enjoy watching our best friend tag. I hope that it was interesting, that you learned a little bit more about me, and that you were introduced to my BFF. And make sure to just like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in my next video.
I'll do it every way. Because not